streets until after all debris is removed. So our budget, by the way, for street paving is $370,000 for FY21. The skid steer loader trade-in, I'm recommending that we trade in what we have. It's a four-wheel Bobcat, basically, to get Public Works compact track loader using the state contract. And looking at the price, they're giving us actually more money than we paid for the item in our trade. The reason for that, the track system works better in mud and on grass. We found in the last few weeks with the four-wheel system, we've had to pull it out of and we've ruined grass by turning, and we've dug holes, and we've had to multiple times pull it out. The track system just works better, especially in this environment that we're in with the hurricane cleanup. So our Public Works staff is asking for this, and that's all I have on the agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Russo. Do I have any questions to my left for the city manager? Any questions to my right? I have one quick question on the debris contract. It is a 90-day contract. Is that correct?
We had 90 days, right?
It was 90 days.
Confirmed.
So, and you have requested that the contractor do two passes before Christmas.
2 passes within 30 calendar days.
Okay.
There are rain, weather allowances if
So
needed.
it may fall shortly thereafter. So the last pass may be...
I'm hoping 15 days after that, 45
okay.
days.
All right. So we need to get our stuff out on Monday. Try to get it out and have it out for Monday. We don't want to miss this opportunity. Thank you for the clarification.
I would have just one other comment at the end of this meeting, just to remind us to recess to a Friday meeting.
Thank you.
So for the purpose of awarding that first contract. Thank y'all.
Thank you. And thank you all for working hard on that. I know it wasn't easy, but we're moving in the right direction, and we are ready. We are prepared for the future. Thank you. Could I get a motion to approve the November 3rd, 2020 regular meeting minutes?
I so move.
Could I get a second? Oh, excuse me. I'm skipping the public comments. I am, and I know we have some people that want to have some comments. One of these public comments is for a tabled item. So if things tend to move on that one, we will allow you a chance to speak on that. Okay. First, we have Mr. Henry Stout. Mr. Stout, would you like to come up and address the council? Okay, this is your 3 minutes if you want to make a comment on an agenda item. All right, thank you, Mr. Stout. And with that, Ms. Crawford, if this comes off the table for discussion, we will call you up. Thank you. Now moving on to the minutes. Could I get a motion to approve the November 3rd, 2020 regular meeting minutes?
I so move.
Could I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Could I get a motion to move table item 2020-298, motion to declare the guard check surplus and approve to advertise for requests for proposals for leasing of said property? And this is a motion to move off the table. With no motion to move, this motion dies. Resolution 2020-263, motion to adopt Resolution 2020-062, thereby establishing salaries for all employees for FY21. Could I get a motion?
I'll move.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? City Clerk?
Morian,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
McClure,
Yes.
DePrio.
Yes. Resolution 2020-320, a motion to adopt Resolution 2020-082, thereby finding an adjacent parcel number 067H2254008.000 to be in such a state to be a menace to the public health, safety, and welfare of the citizenry of the city, authorizing and ratify the action of the City Council under Hurricane Zeta emergency declaration and for other related matters. Could I get a motion?
Move.
Could I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? And I'll just briefly say this is about a tree, and the cost you got quotes was $950, around that. Okay. So this was a tree on a state-owned property that is about to fall over onto a residence that the city is is working on getting corrected.
This is the current property we spoke about?
Right, yeah.
Okay, City Clerk, Ms. Jeannie Klein?
Moran,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
McClure,
Yes.
DePrio.
Yes. Resolution 2023-18, motion to adopt Resolution 2020-081, thereby pursuant of the Governor's executive order to close all city offices on Friday, November 27, 2020, in further observance of Thanksgiving holiday, December 24th, 2020, in further observance of Christmas, and December 31st, 2020, in further observance of New Year's Day. Could I get a motion?
Move.
Could I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? City Clerk, Ms. Jeannie Klein?
Moran,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
McClure,
Yes.
DePrio.
Yes. Could I get a motion to approve consent agenda items 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13A, and 13B?
I so move.
Could I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Action agenda items 2020-316. Motion to approve the recommendation of the Planning Commission by Miss Mary Ellen Jones requesting a variance for the ordinance Article 9.8J to replace a 6-foot wood privacy fence on the front of her property along Lay Street and extended beyond the front facade of her house within the 20-foot front yard setback. The property address is 790 Lay Court. The tax parcel number is 067R-2-36-161.000. The legal description is Diamondhead Subdivision Phase Number 2, Unit 2, Block 2, Lots 59 and 60. Could I get a motion to approve the recommendation?
I move.
Could I get a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, is there any discussion to my left? Any discussion to my right?
Mr. Jones, what is your recommendation?
To approve application.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Action agenda item 2020-317. Motion to concur with the recommendation of the Planning Commission to deny the variance request by Ms. Athena Tornos. I'm sorry, honey, I messed your name up. Tornes? Tizanos, okay. To allow the placement of an existing shed 9 by 15 without permit extending beyond the front facade of the house facing Banyan Street. The property address is 63732 Diamondhead Drive North. The tax parcel number is 068R-3-41-037.000. Could I get a motion to
I'll
concur
move.
with the recommend? Could I get a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion to my left?
Yes, Mr. Jones, could you come to the podium and give the council a brief on this issue, this variance request?
Wrong file, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, council. I'll give the short version of this tonight, okay?
Thank you.
All righty. There was a shed placed in on the premises without a permit, and we sent them some violation letters, and then no action was taken to remove the shed. Then at that time, I cited them with a municipal citation and brought them into municipal court. And so then at that time, in speaking with the city prosecutor at the time, they agreed to request a variance and then go through that process. And if they did, then that file would be retired to the file. Okay, so that's how we got here today. And so they did request a variance to have the shed beyond the front facade of their house. Now, this is a corner lot, and in our zoning ordinance, it says if you have a corner lot, that one of the side lots has to meet the front yard setback requirements. So in essence, from Banyan, you have to be 20 feet. From Diamondhead Drive North, 20 feet. Okay, so we had a hearing. There was probably 8 to 10 letters of objection from the various property owners. Now we did have some speak in favor of it, though. That's true, and so if you look at my staff report, and I said this at the meeting at the Planning Commission, there are certain criteria that the planning commissioners are charged with. Okay, and I stated this is that I listed each one of the criteria, and that the applicant does not meet the first criteria set forth for the planning commission to even hang their hat on concerning granting approval. Not one. Of course, there was information brought to the planning commission's attention about safety, but in terms of, you look at the ordinance where it deals with hardship, that is not anything the planning commission has to consider.
I understand.
As relates to hardship, and so I want to point that out. Okay, so
Let me just ask you a couple of questions. I'll save you some time.
okay, I apologize.
No, it's fine. I understood you had some discussions with the landowner. Alternatives were presented. One of them was move the shed to the backyard or extend a fence, install a fence and extend it to the line. Was that an option that was offered as a compromise to try to?
That's one of the things I did mention, that was to try to help resolve that. And one of the things with the backyard is that they have to be 10 feet from their house, and if possible, that they might need a variance for not meeting that. But you have to be 5 feet off the side property line for accessory structure and 10 feet off the rear. And then there was a brought up about possibly having a fence. And then when it was mentioned at the meeting that the maximum height of the fence can only be 6 feet, then the applicant stated that was not acceptable because it wasn't high enough to prevent her neighbor from seeing them in the yard. And so this is where we are, and my recommendation was to deny, and the planning commission voted unanimously to deny the shed or even a fence. And so
Thank you.
that's where we are today.
I don't have any more questions.
I have a question. So this variance was request for the shed or a privacy fence. So both of those were addressed in this. I guess I'm looking at the shed. We know the shed isn't viable in the front yard. It's not. But the fence option, a 6-foot high fence tied into their existing fence headed out to Diamondhead, to Banyan Street with a taper, maybe 20 foot off the edge of asphalt, would give some type of it might be a viable solution so that we can have, I think their concern was separation. And we're looking at both parties, because I wrote notes down on all the comments, the for and the against. That might be something that we could consider, allowing a 6-foot-high fence and
Well-
taper. Is that something you could work with the owners on to, if we amend it and added that option?
Yes, I could. Sure could. If the council so chooses, and give me specific directions or how much latitude I have as relates to what you want to allow and what you will not allow. As long as I have specific instructions, I'll be glad to work with them.
Okay. Any comments to my right? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Jones.
You're welcome.
So that was a lot to take in. So with that being said, could I get a motion to either amend or to approve to move on the motion as is?
Madam
And we're
Mayor,
talking about 2023-17.
Madam, if you
Can
take
we-
mind, I wouldn't mind asking the council.
Oh,
to
sure.
give us
Okay,
some
so we're going to
guidance.
ask legal counsel for some advice.
Give us some guidance, please.
Yeah, the role that you all have in this situation is one to either accept or reject the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission, or you could also take your own initiative and amend it. And so, the motion could be to accept the recommendation with respect to the shed, that it has to be relocated to the backyard. And if you would like to make a motion to allow a 6-foot fence and a variance for the location of that 6-foot fence extending past where it's allowed, then that's a motion that you all could make.
I think we should probably take some time and think about this. Do you, Mayor, what do you, this is your representation of a ward still, I guess.
I've visited the site.
What are your thoughts?
Knowing all the neighbors, knowing the concerns, I think it's viable to allow the fence until let's start working together. Let's start moving together. We need to start moving together, and hopefully we'll all start getting along and working toward that direction. So I'm leaning more toward allowing the option of the fence and to
Okay.
taper it off at the beginning of the road, like 20 feet off the edge of asphalt.
And also to move the shed back.
Well, the shed, definitely, I think we all agree with the planning commission on that.
So we need to scrap what we have, or how would we do that,
Well,
council?
someone could make a motion to amend, to do just what the mayor recommended there.
I'll withdraw my original motion and make a motion to amend based
Okay,
on the discussion.
okay. Could we get a second on that motion and legal, I'm gonna ask you to repeat that motion so
Yep.
that we know for the city clerk what we're all doing.
So, and make sure I'm correct here, so that we all know. So the motion would be to accept the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission with respect to the denial of the variance with respect to the shed. However, to overturn their decision with respect to the fence and allow a variance of a 6-foot fence on that, Mr. Jones, help me out, to the east side of,
It's the west.
west side of the property along the property line, and then being tapered off at 20 feet to the road as the mayor suggested. So,
And Mr. Jones,
does that give
can
you
we
enough?
allow you to put the dimensions on it? Start the taper down at 4 feet, back up to 6, closer to, but keep it out the right of way. Can you handle this? Yes. Okay, all right. So
I think we have
Councilman
a-
LaCour, there's your motion.
Mayor, we have a,
Okay, we had to sign up to address the council, but y'all work with the building department on this, and let's move forward. All right, Councilman LaCour, could I get a motion? You've got the motion. Can we get a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Could I get a motion to approve docket claims DKT 157759 and DKT 157797 in the amount of $217,481.08?
I move.
Could I get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Could I get a motion to approve the building department, the police department, and the code enforcement and the privilege license?
Move.
Could I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? I want to commend the police department. That was a bunch of calls this month. Thank y'all. You must have been,
Exhausted.
I know, great job. All in favor?
Aye.
Could I get a motion to recess until 3 p.m. on Friday, November 20th, 2020, and recess in honor of Judge Dalton Anderson Sr., who recently passed away and served on the first city council?
Move.
Could I get a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all for coming tonight, and I hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving.